you cannot absent yourself from court, then when you get a sentence, go and tell the judge that because of your absence, you want the judgment set aside. The law can only offer you the facility to be heard and to be present. If you do not take advantage of that, you can't fault the process after that. The law is a very logical institution.
But in the interest of not delaying this process, is it correct or right to ensure that they're here?
I have no responsibility to ensure that they're here. They know that this process is ongoing. They derailed it and left it. So when it starts back, whether they want to come is a matter for them. The international teams are going to be here. The Carter Center has committed that they will not leave until this process is completed. The European Union, I understand, they're making arrangements to remain here. The international community obviously feels insulted, and it has now become a challenge. They are not going to leave. Observers I've spoken to, 4 of them are behind you. They said that they're all changing their flights. They're leaving here till next month, if it's possible. They are not going to leave. Democracy will not be allowed to be trampled upon by these dictators and authoritarians. They have lost the elections, and the results have to be declared.
So the Guyanese critic is coming to you from, once again, from outside of gecom's office, of the returning office, where it seems the confusion here is never ending. We'll ask Mr. Jerry Gavaya for an update on this. Please.
I am just stunned. This afternoon, Winfield came into the room in front of the U.S. ambassador, in front of the British High Commissioner, in front of the European ambassador, in front of all of the diplomatic and international agencies, the observer agencies, and a commitment was made to start and finish this thing tomorrow morning, non-stop. We expected that gecom and the person of Winfield would have had rotational staff that would work from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock and so on. And I was sitting there, and I'm telling you that when they started over the system, it was highly efficient. They were calling it out, it would be projected on the screen, and everybody was agreeing with it, and it was amazing. I was actually very proud of the system that I was watching it. And then after about an hour, the girl asked, she said, let's take a 15-minute break. Everybody took a 15-minute break. When she came back and they started again, within 10 minutes, she said, I'm closing it down and we're starting again tomorrow. And everybody like, what? So I went upstairs and I found the chairman, and I spoke to her, and she found Winfield and said, let's go down. So she came downstairs and spoke to people. And then Winfield made a commitment. He said, I'm going to try to find some DROs. Now that is 4 hours a week. 4 hours since this happened. And Winfield is in there, and there were DROs in the building. And I would say that this is a serious attack on democracy. This is a serious attack on what was in fact a very efficient electoral system that happened on Monday. And the other, when you think about the other regions, there are 8 other regions, or 9 other regions that was declared. And this is going to completely smear these elections. Every international agency that observed these elections spoke about how highly and professional it was run. The fact that you have international observers in that room at 1 o'clock in the morning, it is really embarrassing Guyana. But it's a serious attack on democracy. And I don't believe that the people in that room is going to leave. Everybody is going to stay until, whether it's right through the night into tomorrow morning. But I want to say to you that as the leader of the Private Sector Commission, my members have been calling me. The private sector is appalled because right across this country, the private sector is shut down, waiting on these election results so we could get on with the development of Guyana. This is a real embarrassment for what was really a very beautiful electoral process. And now this last Region 4, everything else is done. this last one is doing this to us, this is going to become a smear in Guyana.
Mr. Govaya, we've heard from others that the CEO wishes to have a deputy returning officer from the East Bank in order to restart this process. Is that your information as well?
They're saying that they need a returning officer from the particular region, wherever that, a particular district, wherever that was. Well, I am not, I mean, he gotta know what they're talking about, but there are 82 deputy returning officers, or 92, either 80 or 90 deputy returning officers in Region 4. And the chairman actually agreed with him. I think somebody showed them the law tonight, that the deputy returning officer and a returning officer are interchangeable. So there's no restriction. And so what is happening here is quite shocking. And it's starting to make people believe that there's some conspiracy going on.
What has been a smooth process from the beginning has become very haphazard now.
It's not haphazard. This is becoming criminal.
At what point in time you will be willing to take the Mr. Lowenfield up to task on this?
Well, I think everybody in this room, I think Lowenfield is still in there. I think the commissioner, he's meeting with some of the commissioners, and people are trying to use moral suasion to try to get Lowenfield to do the right thing in the national interest. And I hope he listens to them, because nobody's leaving here tonight. Nobody's leaving here tonight. There's too much at stake. I mean, if you listen to the U.S. ambassador's statement, the U.S. ambassador said the United States is prepared to work with a democratically elected government of Guyana. Not just a government, but a democratically elected government. And so coming out of these elections, whichever government comes out of this, got to be a democratically elected government. And I'm telling you, we have never, in all my 40 years as a professional pilot and fly around elections and election officials, I have never seen the army of foreign observers like we have seen now. Because of where Guyana is, the world is not going to take too kindly to what is happening here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Govaya.
Thank you.
So you would have heard from Chairman of the Private Sector Commission, Jerry Govaya, as to what's going on here. And basically he has said this process is one that is looking criminal at this point in time. You have the observers on the ground, European Union, observers from the European Union, observers from the OAS, a number of other observers. The Private Sector Commission has observers. Presidential candidates for new parties are on the ground here. The presidential candidate for the main opposition party is here. A number of individuals are here, all willing and ready to work to see the completion of what has begun as a free and fair election process. It has now become very worrying.
What has happened is the CEO has returned, and at this point we're all waiting because he had given us a commitment earlier that the process will restart once we secure the necessary staff. As far as I'm aware, there is one staff available, but that process has not started. A wait, like I said earlier, this is a tense time, and it is imperative that these results are. We're literally the last region to do. And so if these results will be given to the people back tomorrow, I will be assured of that. We're also concerned about the security of the original controls. And so that is one other area that we are paying attention to. All eyes on that package.
What has triggered that concern?
Nothing. It's just one of those safeguards that we give ourselves, because at this point it's literally the only thing, in that sense, to verify the original copies that in part.
Did Mr. Lowenfield give any reason for this?
No, not that I heard. I'm not swearing that he didn't. But at the time when he was speaking, there was a lot of people around, and so all I understood was that we haven't started that process yet. Three small parties, LJP, TNM, and PCI are here, along with members of the BBC, and those four parties are going to process continuing. I have been instructed to call police superior from OBE should the process restart, and he's also going to send either he comes or he sends a representative.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
So the Guyanese Critic coming to you from just outside GECOM's office for the returning officer, where I'll be bringing constant election watch updates for you on behalf of Daybreak News, the Guyanese Critic.